Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip Committee meeting. Today is August 12th, 2024, and we'll call this meeting in order at 7:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navasparza?
Here.
Trustee Peretta?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so before we start our reports, we have a bid opening this evening. This is for our fiscal year 25 annual street resurfacing program.
All right, we have five bids. The first one is from D Construction, located at 1488 South Broadway, Coal City, Illinois, 60416. There is a bid bond. And their proposal amount is $1 million, it's very tiny.
Not when you start off with
$1,023,917 even. So that's 1,023,917 even. The next one is from Lindahl, located at 622 East Green Street, Bensonville, Illinois, 60106. There is a bid bond. And their bid amount is $1,033,968 even. So that's 1,033,968 even. The next one is from Gallagher, located at 18100 South Indiana Avenue, Thornton, Illinois, 60476. There is a bid bond, and their total is $1,026,346.85. That is 1,026,346.85. The next one is from K5 Construction, located at 999 Oakmont Plaza Drive, Suite 200, Westmont, Illinois, 60559. They do have a bid bond. And their bid amount is $796.75. That's 1,057,796.75. And the last one is from Iroquois Paving, located at 1889 East US Highway 24, Watseka, Illinois, 60970. do have a bid bond. And their bid amount is $988,557.05. That's $988,557.05. And those were all the bids that were turned in.
Very good, thank you. Yes.
I don't, would it be in here? Because I don't have the
I
original
didn't hear the last
bid
part.
thing.
Estimate for what, sir?
The engineer's estimate.
Oh. You know what, I'll have, you know what I'd ask is, you can have the Public Works Director to take a quick look. Mike, can you look at the packet in here? We'll start with our board reports then, starting with mine. We're going to go a little bit out of order. We always like to be cognizant of folks if we have representatives in the room. First, was there anybody here to talk about cannabis dispensary? No? Okay. I spoke with the commercial real estate rep, and he wasn't sure if there was going to be somebody here this evening. So we'll take that off the. I'm going to pull that. In other words, I don't have anybody here to talk about that. Next was the number 2 was a request to approve a Class G liquor license to be issued to the Mariano grocery store that acquired the former Jewel grocery store located at 12001 South Pulaski. There is a representative here for that, but really this board, there's trustees. This is really just a change of ownership. It's going to remain a regular Class G liquor license like Jewel has right now, but it's going to a new owner that was part of that acquisition by Kroger. Were there any questions about that?
Has the acquisition gone through?
Jennifer, can you speak to that at all? Okay.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Neeson. I'm the counsel for the Regulatory Council and the one who filed the application on behalf of Jewel. The closing date is scheduled for October 1st, and just to be clear, Mayor, it will remain as the Jewel branding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a new owner, but they're going to maintain the Jewel brand.
Everything will maintain same operations, and the goal is to have all the same employees at the store.
Okay. I saw the floor plan. It didn't change or anything like that. It looked the same.
No changes to the layout, no construction. It's really just the change of ownership happening for right now.
Understood.
Yeah.
Board, did you have any questions for Jennifer on this at all?
We issued to the store, not to the entity. So it's not Albertsons, it's not Kroger, it's to Jewel, and it's to the manager. So if nothing's changing,
We don't need to do
Well,
anything.
the ownership is changing. That's like, you can have a change in a gas station, like we just did that recently. Like, it might stay as Shell, but it's going to a new owner. That's all we're doing here, is it's just going to a new owner.
right, but the liquor license is to Jewel Foods with the manager. And if
Well-
Jewel Foods is Jewel Foods and the manager is the manager, what's changed?
Well, not really, because a lot of times, like, say, for instance, like the Food for Less is actually, the corporate name might be Ralph's Food for Less or something like that, you know?
Yeah. And isn't this still tied up with the FTC?
Right now it is, yes. It is going to have FTC approval.
Right.
But both parties have let us know that the closing date is still set for October 1st with that knowledge. I'm not transactional counsel, so I don't know the inside scoop. But just to add on what to the mayor was saying, the legal name is changing, but not the DBA, not what you're foreseeing it as. And we did list the manager, similar on all the liquor applications when we applied.
Right.
We disclosed the new legal entity, the new officer of that legal entity, and the manager, which is the manager of the store here.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because it was my understanding at the FTC, this was being for a PI out in Oregon.
There is Colorado litigation, and we have been hearing that, and the parties are still moving forward with the closing date. So they might have some type of inside track that we don't have knowledge of. as of right now. But if it does change, we're going to notify Alsip right away.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for being here, too. And certainly, you don't have to feel compelled to stay for the rest of the meeting and stuff yet, too, but
Okay.
thanks for being out for
Oh,
tonight.
thank you.
Okay. You also. Next, we had the request to approve creating a Class A liquor license that authorizes the sale and consumption at retail of alcoholic liquor on specified premises. The liquor purchased must be consumed on premise where purchased at a planned wine bar to be developed at 11500 South Pulaski. Brett, I saw you sitting in the back of the room. You want to come up, please? Thanks. Rich, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rich Eber.
Since we last talked, we worked with Roger, because we were originally planning on taking that vacant unit and splitting it into 2 units, but we discussed and we agreed upon that the parking probably wasn't enough to do that, and also from our standpoint, we didn't really want to step on DeVita Dialysis's shoes, because we think that's a good business to have there. So we still think it works with us taking on the full space. We did a tour of the property today at 4, just to kind of look at it and what we can do with that extra space. So we're thinking about partitioning off a piece of that to make it more like a private room type, like wedding showers, small wedding showers or private parties. So,
Oh, I see, like an extension of the room.
not a floor-to-ceiling wall, but probably stop just short of the ceiling or something, just a kind of a temp wall type of thing, just to give some more privacy. But that's kind of the goal we want to do.
Right. How many parking spots did you have? 25. Okay. And so how do you feel about the business plan that they presented? Raj, do me a favor. Can you get on mic, please?
Business plan as presented, excuse me, would fit with the parking spaces. As it was proposed with splitting it, I didn't feel that it was going to have ample parking. Through communications, we did have conversation, and he did say that he would like to just move forward with it as the wine bar and the DeVita dialysis. And I let him know at that time it was a board's decision to create the liquor license, which is why Richard is here to ask for a liquor license.
So we're not going to go to, like, as Rich said, we're not going with 3 parcels. It's basically just 2, but he'll have like a bonus room there if you want to use it.
Correct.
Right, okay.
And as long as he's 18 inches below the ceiling, he would have no issues with that.
Okay.
Because the building is a sprinkler building, so he'd have to be 18 inches below in order to meet code.
Rich, I looked at it the other day, too, and I don't know why, but I had the 2 spaces confused, but so the Vita Dialysis, it's a training facility, is at the south side of the building. It's only got 2 small windows. You've got more storefront on your side, on the north side of the building and stuff yet then, too.
Yep.
And then, obviously, I saw your layout that you gave us when you were here last time. You got room, you're going to put in a small kitchen and so forth in the back of the place?
There's like, I don't know the exact number, but there's about 700 square feet that's hidden, where the bathrooms, and there's like a big storage area.
Okay.
So that's where we plan to put the, well, we're going to put the bar on that back wall, and then there's going to be direct access into that storage room / prep area.
Okay. Trustees, any question for Rich Eber?
The original proposal that you gave us was just kind of a hand-drawn, so that at that point in time, you were looking to partition that into 2 entities. Now you're just doing a single entity, so you wouldn't have to be dividing up the bathroom space that's there already.
Correct, yeah. So if you look at that sheet, where we put up the wall that we're going to divide
Right.
it into, that's just going to slide a little bit further north. So we're gonna eat up another. We don't want to partition it in half. We're just going to make a smaller space, so that
Yeah.
wall's just going to move a little bit closer to the side of the building.
Right now, I think I was told, Becky told me we've got, Roger's 14 Class A's, sound right to you?
Sounds about right.
14 Class A's right now, so we're going to increase this number to 15 with this approval. Certainly, Rich, we're not voting on anything this evening. It was just for you to come back and obviously make this presentation, because we weren't sure, but that's how we left it last time as far as parking was concerned and stuff yet, too.
The
you
good
know.
thing, DeVita closes every day at 4:30, so we think when our highest traffic, DeVita wouldn't really need the spots at that point
Okay.
anyways.
Okay.
Rich, when would the bar open?
So we are under LOI right now, so we agreed upon a price with the seller, and then our attorneys are working on the contract right now. So assuming we sign that later this week, we'd probably have 60 days to close.
I'm sorry, I should have clarified.
Hours.
What hours of operation?
Oh,
Pardon me.
We probably want to be open, I think it's like Sundays 11 to, I think he said 1 o'clock. And then during the week, we're still we don't know exactly when we want to open up, but we probably want to stay open for the late hours,
Okay.
1 or 2,
What time do you think you'd start?
10 or 11.
10 or 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Eber?
If you have a revised, prettier drawing for
Yeah,
the
we had
floor plan?
We had a guy come through today at 4 o'clock, so he's actually preparing us one that we could circulate when it's finished.
Yeah, I'd like to see
More
that.
official from my drawing.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly, Rich, once you have that, send it over, and I'll show it to the board then, too. And then we can further our discussion next week and stuff then, too, okay? All right.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for being here. Okay. Next, Board, I'd like to go out of line a little bit here and drop down to the Human Resource, Trustee Murphy. We have somebody here with our HR manager, Tony Fasano, to speak to number 2.
Okay. Number 2, request to purchase Paylocity's Human Resources Information System.
Got it. Can you hear me all right here?
Sure.
All righty. Well, thanks for having me, y'all. Just quick intro on me. Nick Dorgan, born and raised in Mount Greenwood. Moved out to Texas about, 6 years ago. Longtime Alsip donator from the red light camera at 127th and Cicero. Got me more times than I'd like to admit. But quick, as far as like HR, Tony just asked me to talk about kind of the implications for the village of Alsip and what it would mean for us to have a standardized HRIS system, and kind of the 3 buckets that I narrowed it down to were staying in compliance, employee experience, which is crucial in this day and age. They say 2025, 50% of the workforce will be millennials and Gen Z, and then just overall record keeping. So being able to easily access documents. I see in Tony's filing cabinets that he has now for retirees and active employees, and just being able to put that inside a system and stored securely inside Paylocity as well. So have a ton of details, but don't also want to bore you with a lot of HR talk here. But if anyone has any questions, or Tony, if you wanted to add anything or wanted me to touch on anything else, happy to do so.
Well, my concern is that part of my mission with this is that I want to be utilized for my true talent in the strategic HR realm. I know there's a lot of costs in the HR department as far as health care, workers' comp, insurances and all that. So the goal would be to focus more on reducing the cost of workers' compensation, some of the liability, working on the culture and climate, preventing turnover, engagement and productivity, DEI as far as underrepresented population, of course in the storage. And this could be done through like better communication and relaying the data live, live training, pulse surveys, could be live webinars, regular webinars, better decision making throughout, communication, and creating new standing operating procedures and new policies and procedures. So instead of focusing on like just the pushing paper all day, I'd be able to hone in on those important things and truly be able to save the village money. And then as far as other departments, as far as like payroll, it'll be a blessing in disguise as far as like transactions could be done all online. So when someone comes in, and originates a transaction, or someone does get a pay raise, there's transactions that come in by volume around, May. So that form can be done and sent to me to sign off and go right to Heather without how it's done now. It's emailed to me, it's dropped in my mailbox, and I sign it. Then I put it in Heather's mailbox. Heather picks it up. Heather brings it back to me. All that workflow will be, stopped by Paylocity. It'll actually put it to the intended person right away. The same way when someone comes on board, all that information as far as onboarding will be live, so everything is done in a secure website. So everyone goes through it, it sends them a code, and then they fill out all the information online, and then it's sent, like the tax forms are sent to payroll. I get the I-9 form. Leon will know, and tech department, he'll get to create the ID, the fob, and as far as the drug screen and background checks and all that, that could be also done and tracked online. So I know that Paylocity partners with what's the name? Assure Hire. So we can actually do all the background checks through them, which is more comprehensive. And then the physicals through Physicians Immediate Well now and drug screen will be the same. So everything will be streamlined in one central location. And then any of the department heads who have employees tagged to that will also be able to see that information as far as where they're at in the hiring process. Instead of, asking me or calling me up where they're at, they're able to see that live. So other things, too, is we can create a retiree database on there, so that information when it comes to the wellness program, all that information can be pushed out to retirees as far as when the wellness program is, and then anytime when benefits change as far as new rates, all employees, retirees, and active will be, with a click of a button, will be notified immediately. So there's just a lot of better ways. Pretty much any form that is out there can be customized, fillable form on there, and and a lot of the information in the filing cabinets can be uploaded in the Paylocity. So instead of growing with more filing cabinets running out of room, putting it in storage facilities and all that, everything is stored in one secure location on a cloud.
Nick, do we own all that data then, or does Paylocity hang on to it?
Yeah, own it all. Question I frequently get, if you guys were to ever leave Paylocity for whatever reason, don't leave us. You will actually send that over to you, and part of implementing with the new system a lot of time is bringing that data into a new system. So I do that frequently.
Nick, obviously, I know Paylocity is a very popular company, and we haven't had any problems with what you folks saw. You guys do a good job for us, but can you give us an example? How many municipalities are taking advantage of programs like this?
Yeah, you got it. So not too much around Chicago, but like I said, working in Texas at this point. So we got Village of Alsip here, and then a bunch of small towns in Texas around the DFW area. I could actually get you over a list if you'd like as well, but I know City of Forest Hill is what I'm working with. City of Converse, Texas is a current client. And then there's City of Burleson, which is right outside Fort Worth as well. So a lot of municipalities.
I mean, like you say, obviously we're never looking to this is new to us, let's put it that way. As Tony said, we're scanning, we're saving, a lot of the Laserfish data that we save is one thing, but that's just retention. That doesn't really function. That's what you're saying too, Tony? Or Nick, am I saying that right too?
Say that one more time.
When we utilize Laserfish, Laserfish is more of a data retention.
Gotcha.
But is this doing the same? In other words, I don't want to have just redundant, but is this doing more than that?
You're good. I didn't hear Laserfish before, but yes, it's going to be document storage, but it's going to be more for employees. So one thing that Tony and I had talked about frequently was seasonal employees and what that looks like to rehire them inside the system. Basically, we're going to have that stored already, going to make it an easier process for Tony, for payroll as well, and then that new hire experience too. They're going to be able to do it on their cell phones, computers before day one.
Okay. Board, go ahead if you have questions.
Just some questions that I have. So currently, are employees able to e-sign anything?
No.
So with Paylocity, will they be able to e-sign documents?
For what specifically?
Onboarding or agreements, contracts?
There is, so a lot of things that we see is more like in employee handbook e-signatures. There is options to do so. I would just have to know which specific documents you're looking to have
Okay.
e-signed, there's a lot of acknowledgement forms for employees as well.
Okay, and then also, would an employee be able to access their W-2, like on demand?
Yeah, it's the fun part.
Okay.
Do it every year. So yeah, on your mobile phone, sent over secure email as well to yourself, and you can access all previous years as long as you've been with Paylocity on there as well.
Okay, and then I saw here, one of the categories was learning management. Do you have a library of trainings?
Yes, there's about 700 pre-built trainings in there, ranging from things like anti-harassment, there's OSHA training on there as well, cybersecurity, and then there's also the ability to create and customize your own trainings. So Anthony and I were talking about maybe incidents at the workplace or different unions around Alsip as well for some type of personalized safety training and being able to utilize that and send it out to employees.
The cybersecurity training, especially now as everything is shifting, and then there's also spam emails that are circulating and so forth. I think training is also an important component, and having something at a fingertip right away is also, versus having to reinvent the wheel or searching for resource and so forth. So I do see the time saving and also just the compliance, and also just for employees to have the ability to go on and update their information or view information 11 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning, stuff like that. So, I am a millennial myself, and I do see that we are shifting ultimately to more a digital cloud-based society in general. So it would be helpful to see what other municipalities have this in place, and I would be in favor of something of this nature.
As a fellow millennial as well, mobile training, so they could take it all on their phones as well, if need be.
That's where statistically, I've been reading some of the articles populated by SHRM and PASHRA, which is public sector HR, and a lot of it is more and more applicants are wanting that quick, easy access, and all of us pretty much, well, I wouldn't say everybody, that would be incorrect, but most people have a cell phone and they do use it to apply for jobs now, at the comfort of their own home, versus even a laptop now or other device, a tablet. So now the cell phone is becoming a dominant, one for, applying now. So, and as another thing too, what I heard is currently too, the way I receive some of the applications and sending it, it's going to cut out all that transactions through emails and personal information being sent. If resumes are sent and applications are sent or background checks are sent with private information on there, I feel like that's in possibility jeopardy of somebody's, personal information and all that, so, and identity theft. So it also will minimize that because everything will be done through Paylocity, which is secure. So that was one of my big concerns as of, lately now, because I hear more and more about people getting their identity stolen. And this, I wouldn't want to be the reason why, because it's a simple process that could have been streamlined.
In regards to applications, with Paylocity, what I've noticed as well on certain websites, if you have a LinkedIn account, for example, when someone applies, let's say via Paylocity, is there that collaboration?
I was going to chime in on that, so appreciate you. Yes, so Tony was letting me know that we're paying for sponsored jobs on LinkedIn and Indeed right now?
You're correct.
Okay, Indeed, sorry. So we actually have integrations with Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter. So every time you post a job on your careers page, it will post out and flow to those at no cost for the Indeed postings.
That's interesting. Tony, what ballpark, what do you think we pay right now with Indeed?
Well, I know for the previous staff account role, probably maybe 6,000 to 8,000.
I mean, is there a starter? In other words, I know we carried it for some time, but I'm saying, like, where was the starting point at that?
As far as like
what's the initial cost
for
an ad?
Well, I mean, basically, the reason why you have it sponsored is because in Indeed, if you go on there and you look up, say, staff accountant, that Alsip might be in page 25 of the last job, and usually people may not go and look that far. They'll look for everything immediately. That's the first couple pages. So sponsored, is $1 a click. That doesn't mean they apply or not. So they can click on it 5 times, and you're paying $5 for that. So it's really hard to say because, when I look at the insights on there, it looks like some people just peruse over it and then they see the qualifications and they just stop applying. So that's why it gets so costly fast. So, but generally speaking, with Paylocity, what will happen now is that it'll be bumped up to the front. So the jobs won't be, on the last page of like ZipRecruiter or obviously LinkedIn's a little bit different, or Indeed. So
those ads, Nick, through Paylocity would be prioritized?
You got it, yeah. With our relationship with Indeed and LinkedIn, we basically have a partnership that doesn't require sponsored jobs.
Okay.
And then one quick thing that I just wanted to add, as far as like me applying for jobs, like mobile, if I have to go in there and like fill out my resume, fill out my application, and fill out all those answers separately, typically I will not continue applying, or if it's not mobile friendly. So you do have mobile friendly capabilities. If you upload your resume, you're going to get more qualified applicants because it's actually parsing out that resume so that the application's probably taking 2 to 3 minutes. And that's what stats say for get qualified candidates in the door.
So I see the return on investment model that you were sharing. I don't know if it's totally accurate to our community, but obviously we always need to know. That's why what the board's biggest focus is policies and expenditures. What are we looking at for, like, say, a monthly expense for something like this?
Yeah, I believe, and I can pull it up later and send it over to Anthony, but I believe it's about $1,500. Does that sound right? A month?
Yeah.
I can get you exact numbers on there.
Okay.
It's more than just a recruiting platform that we're looking to add in your system.
Okay.
It's a recruiting platform, that electronic onboarding with actually collecting like direct deposit information, and then being able to set up workflows for the organization for like employee change forms, raise of pay, different aspects there. Oh, yeah, and the training component as well that I forgot.
It's a la carte, in other words?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, that was going to be my question. Is this like an all-or-nothing package, or can it be parsed out? Because, I mean, and some of my questions to go along with that, I mean, and Tony, maybe you can answer. I mean, like right now, we are already doing some online training.
Correct.
So how does this correlate to that, or does it replace that? And then the other piece of that as well is, I believe, aren't we using Time Clock Plus now for our time recording? And so when would the contract with that expire in relation to potentially going over to this for the timekeeping?
Well, I believe the story on that, from what I understand, is that we should have used Paylocity, because I don't know why somebody would go to a different vendor when we have Paylocity, because I know they do have timekeeping systems. But that was a decision before my tenure, so I don't know the rationale behind it. But the reason why I'm bringing this on is because we already have Paylocity as payroll, so the smart choice would be to go with the same vendor so everything merges together and is one central, repository, instead of just saying, well, it can be merged with it, and then there's a nightmare. So this is just streamlined, and it'll make everyone's life easier, especially in the finance department. Because they're going to be probably the ones that work with this as well, getting all those forms, upstairs. So it's going to free their hands up and be more efficient and streamlined for them upstairs. So,
Tony, I believe the reason we had to go to Time Clock Plus was Paylocity didn't interface with the
With your
LAD
ERP
Tech,
system.
right, Chief? Wasn't it?
LAD Tech.
Yeah, because the police and fire use a LAD Tech scheduling software, and for some reason it didn't interface. That's why we had to bring in a third party. You folks are basically our payroll administrating company, like, in a way, but we had to go through another party in order to get there and stuff then too.
Correct. And just to be clear as well, we're not replacing the time and labor with this setup now. We're more focused on just the recruiting aspect of things, the onboarding and the ongoing training for employees.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
different
'cause it's just one of the sections that talks about the time management and
was that zero?
Yeah, that's
entering time cards and stuff, so that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, those ones too. So this is typically what I use for bringing on new clients for the first time to Paylocity. So the time management section, I've zeroed all of that out because it's not important for the conversation today. and more just focused on that recruiting, onboarding, and then I believe on the third page is the learning management system. So that's where the actual savings is coming from, is those 3 modules.
But on that learning management system, you've got the departments, the fire department, the police department already have a set program that provides the specifics for their fields.
For the scheduling, but
No, I'm talking about the learning management, so police officers have
They have their
a
own
training
training.
program.
Right.
Firemen have the training program that we have for the rest of the employees. There's a couple that are state statute mandated as far as sexual harassment and
right.
some of the cybersecurity, but
That is correct, because I know, because I created that. That's through our, that learning management system comes through our IPRF, through our Risk Management Center. However, the issue is if we do lose IPRF as a vendor, then all that goes with it. Then we don't have a learning management system.
Yeah.
and if you don't have this vendor, then you lose that as well until you get somebody else that replaces it.
Well, no,
It's the data that you're more concerned about historically.
well, that's what I was asking. Is that true what the trustee just said? Because we just said we own this data then, right?
Correct. Like with the learning management system through Paylocity, that is owned by us.
Okay. As the trustee said, police and fire have got, for the most part, they get all their own training programs, with the exception of maybe a couple that we mandate, that you've mandated, with, let's say, sexual harassment, things like that, right? Or police, chief, do you guys have your own program for that? You do, okay. Okay.
And I would say personally, the focus wouldn't be to replace, firefighter or police training, although we could do it if we wanted to create our own. It'd be more focused on your employees that aren't in those first responder type roles. So like Illinois just came out with a new 1-hour anti-harassment training on top of the original. Illinois is one of the only states to do it. I'm not sure if you're taking that training currently, but that's just a compliance overall as well. If someone wanted to come in and audit and see if you took those trainings, they could do so and audit the village of Alsip for that. So those are like mandatory required trainings in the state of Illinois. I
Okay.
don't know
Yeah, we're
if that platform.
Yeah, we're up to
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Dorgan?
Can I just
Oh,
make
sure,
a
go-
comment?
Absolutely, go ahead.
I use Paylocity where I work. They've used, it's Easter Seals. There's 1 million employees, so it's so easy. Like, I can go in, change my taxes at 1 a.m. if I need to, or my deductions or whatever. We use our PTO time on that. We request it, it goes to the supervisor, they approve it or deny it, whichever. I can change any of my information, my address, my dependents, my whatever I need to change right on the app on my phone. It goes directly to the departments that it needs to go to. We also do the trainings that are on there, for cybersecurity, sexual harassment, all that kind of stuff. We all do that through Paylocity. So I just wanted to comment, like, it is very user-friendly, and it does give a lot of information, and I can log in at any time and see past W-2s or past pay stubs or anything that I need to see the whole time that I've used it. So it is very, very convenient, and for you and the other departments would be convenient for you guys. Like, you could go in at any time to your employees and see, like, oh, did they take vacation time at this time or whatever, and it's all logged right there instead of looking at paper upon paper that might be in a file cabinet. So it is very, I just want to say it's user-friendly. Like, I really enjoy it because I can do anything I need to. I don't have to bother Tony about it. I can change anything that I need to change without going to 6 different people to do so.
And the only thing I'd request, Tony, is just if you could identify those modules that you're interested in, and obviously the price that would be. That's all. Thanks.
Tony, I know you and I talked about this too, and just to cover this one more time, is, Nick, you folks can do background checks for us and stuff then too, huh?
Correct, yes.
For regular employees, not talking police or fire, but regular employees, you can do that, go through you guys.
So it's through our partnership, which is a sure hire, but as far as like end user experience, right in that recruiting module, you are able to see results, different department heads are able to see and order those different background checks required by different position there. So it seems like it's all on Paylocity. It's just an integration with a Sure Hire that flows back and forth.
But I'm sure that makes it far easier to get the information and or schedule the requests.
You got it. Saving it in the record as well, everything that you collected through that recruiting process, application, resume, background check informations go into that employee's secure file in Paylocity, so no paperwork needed there.
Very good. Well, Nick, trustees, anything else? Nick, thanks for coming out tonight. And certainly, if you can get, as trustees Dalzell asked, I'm the same thing. I hate to run right to the price tag or the sticker all the time, but obviously we have to understand what we're all getting involved in. As you said, if it's $1,500 a month for your basic services, let us know, like as Trustee Dalzell said, let us know what else, Tony, you think you're going to be using, so we get a good number of what we're committing to, okay? Okay.
And if there's a contract length.
Oh, yeah. What's the duration, that kind of
Yeah, I
contract?
can answer that.
And
So,
then the integration and all that.
yeah, so no contract length as far as like adding modules. They're all a la carte, so choose what you want. Don't use what you don't want. If you decide 2 years down the road, we're not a good fit for you or whatever it may be, you can remove those. It reflects in your monthly billing there. And then what do you want me to say about the integration?
Like how long, like if it would it take to fully integrate?
Oh, yeah, timetable. So as far as like implementing it for the organization, it's about 30 days to implement. So Tony would get one of our specialists. He would help them build out the system. We would launch out training to employees as well, if necessary, so they're familiar with using the system.
Very good. Thanks again. Nick, again, you don't feel compelled to stay for the rest of the meeting unless you like meetings and stuff.
Thanks for
like
having
that.
me, guys.
Sure.
Thank you.
Trustee Murphy, you want to address number 1, then 2 on your report so you can finish up?
Sure. Next, we have a request to approve a payout of 7 unused vacation and 2 floating holiday paid days off from fiscal year '24 to an employee not working due to an on-the-job injury. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to our reports. We'll go back to Clerk Harding, your report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have the presentation of the August 5th, 2024 board meeting minutes, and that is all I had.
Okay, thank you. We don't need an attorney this evening. Mike, did anything to report from the engineer? No. Okay. Public forum, anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? Folks, did you have business that you wanted to discuss tonight? Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Next, we have somebody else. We'll go to our standing committee reports. Finance and IT, Trustee McLaurin.
Thank you, Mayor. I will have the usual list of payroll and accounts payable for approval next week. That's all I
Okay.
have this evening.
Thank you. Fire Committee, Trustee Murphy.
Nothing to report tonight, sir.
All right. We'll go to our Police Committee report. Trustee Dalzell.
We have the review and approval of the audio-video specialist job description. And then also there's going to be a request to extend the FUSIS contract at our current rate, which is $150,000 a year, for additional 5 years. The offer extension is for current customers only till the end of the year, at which time the processes are expected to increase to $200,000 or more. And we just started the second year of our current contract. Thus far, year 1 has been covered 100% by grants. Chief?
Actually, year 1 and 2 are being covered by 100% by grants. I got a call about 3 or 4 months ago. FUSIS is being taken over by Axon, therefore prices are going to be changing. They offered us the opportunity for as many years as we want to keep our current price. So 5 sounded like a great number to me, because after that it'll be somebody else's problem. But the system is working out real nice for us. Thus far, we have 613 integrated cameras. If anybody's interested in coming to see the room that we've built, be more than happy to schedule a time where you could just swing by for about 10 or 15 minutes and we could take a look at it. But I'd like to take the opportunity to lock in our price now for as many years as possible. So.
Chief Chief, I was going back real quick to the job description. I read this earlier, you and I talked about it a little bit too. For the benefit of the public watching this, we're creating a position of audio-video specialist. Go ahead, do you want to speak to it?
Essentially, this person will be handling all of the audio and video for the police department, including but not limited to lockup cameras, lockup audio, in-car squad cameras, and the body-worn officer cameras, which will be fully implemented January 1st of 2025 for the whole department. Several officers are doing that now. They like it. The position, there could be a lot of time tied up into this, just depending upon what type of incident's going on and how many officers are on scene. It could be quite time-consuming, so.
Okay, so this is going to be a non-exempt position, salary between $50,000 and $58,000 a year to start?
Correct. We'll keep it non-exempt for now. If we need to change course later, we could always do that.
Sure, see how busy it is and everything? Sure.
Correct.
It's a very good job description, and certainly with board approval next week, this will be available for the public to see, and they can apply for the jobs if they chose.
Yes, we want to get it posted. There's quite a bit of training and familiarity that needs to take place with whoever this person is that take over. There's a couple different systems that they have to be shown, and Val's pretty familiar with most of it, so probably expect several weeks of training to get their feet under them.
Sounds good. Trustees, any questions for the chief on that? Okay. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, trustee. Next, we'll go to the Public Work and Boat Launch Report Committee.
That would be me. I have the presentation of the July 2024 Public Works Monthly Activity Report. And then next I have the request for approval to award the 2024 Sidewalk Removal Replacement Program to Strata Construction, 1742 West Armitage Court, Addison, Illinois, in the amount of $150,000 even. Approximately 470 sidewalk squares will be replaced. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay. Mike, when do you think we're going to start that?
I would say probably beginning of
September? Okay. Next, we'll go to the Sewer and Water Report. Trustee Navas-Garza.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report.
Okay, thank you. Building and Health, Trustee Prada.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a presentation of the July 2024 Health Department Monthly Activity Report, and in that report there were 42 complaints, 5 inspections, and 54 citations with 0 call-outs, and that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll go to our special committee reports, starting with Economic Development. Trustee Navas-Garza.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to follow up. I know I sent the email over the weekend, so you might have not seen it yet. But just in regards to the food truck inquiry made by an existing business here in Alsip, and the owner hasn't reached out to me, but I'm going to circle back with him just to see if he's still interested or not. But I'm not sure if you saw the email.
I did. I wasn't home, and today we had kind of a full plate, but I'll look at it again tomorrow.
No worries. I just found an opportunity, a break from my kids, to send the email. So I'll follow up with the owner in the event that he does ask, that we're still trying to work it out.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have the Village Properties Report. Trustee Trustee McGowan.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the presentation of the July 2024 Heritage Monthly Activity Report. And at the end of July, we had one vacancy at Heritage 1 that's available for rent, and 5 remodels that are currently in process. And at Heritage 2, we actually have 6 vacancies available for rent and 2 remodels in process. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
It's amazing. Again, the village owns 30 buildings, 512 apartments, and we've only got 7 vacancies. Yeah, how many of those are being rehabbed right now, Raj? 5 are being rehabbed, so not even available, so there's really only 2 available. Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll go to the ordinance legislation. Trustee Prada.
Thank you, Mayor. Requesting a consensus to approve our village attorney to draft a block party ordinance. Mayor, in retrospect, I feel I don't see any reason to pursue this, Mayor, after consulting current law enforcement, former law enforcement, and public works, and also our village attorney. It is in our best interest to leave it as is. In the past many years, there haven't been any major arrests or any major complaints, so things have been pretty good. And so at this time, I feel no need to pursue this and keep it administratively as permits are issued, and keep it as status quo.
Understood. No problem.
I think the work the trustees done on it, though, and I think Erica helps along too, whoever. But I think some of it procedurally, we can revise on that, the notice, to tighten it up. But I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make a, Trustee Prada, you want to make a couple small amendments to what we have, that's fine, without creating a whole new deal, yeah.
Yeah, I think our office supervisor was looking to revise the applications and to revise some of the stipulations that are on there as well. So, yeah, I can communicate with her and Roger and Mike as well.
Yeah, bring it back.
Just one suggestion that I have is just along the same lines is maybe a cover sheet, just outlining, step by step what the process is. And maybe, like to the trustee's point, I don't think there's been any complaints with block parties, but perhaps just the general cover sheet before that collection of signatures page.
There has been, and that's what we're trying to rectify. This way we know exactly what policy and procedures are in place, which is why we were asking for the ordinance to be made, especially with R2s and R3s. We've had multiple conversations that said, no, you couldn't have block parties in R2s, R3s, and there's nothing that I've ever found that would prohibit or allow. That's kind of why we're asking to have the ordinance draft. I mean, if it's just procedural, I can put it on paper, but there's no teeth to it. And we have had multiple occasions where people are getting drunk and driving motorcycles into houses and other things.
There's laws against that.
They do.
There's laws against that already.
But we don't have anything on books to say, this is why we're not going to give or issue a block party permit.
Well, it's certainly, right now, we have a three-party approval, obviously, actually four. Your office is looking at it, police department, fire department, and my office as well, too. So if we were to take issue with a party because of conduct at the previous year or whatever, certainly we can address it before it happens and stuff then, too. Okay. All right. Trustee Prada, anything else?
That'll do it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to the Planning and Zoning and Licenses Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have a presentation of a list of licenses dated August 5th, 2024 through August 9th of 2024. The next, we have discussion of case 2024-06-S-200 for special use for operation of two-season auto service repair facilities at the property located at 5225 West 111th Street in Alsip. Public hearing was held on Wednesday, June 12th, 2024 by the Planning and Zoning Commission with a vote of 3-1 in favor of. Next, we have request for discussion of case 2024-05-SD-100 for the subdivision of property that is currently 100 by 202.42 into two lots that are 50 feet wide by 202.42 to build two new single-family homes for the property located at 11236 South Lawler. Public hearing was held on Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the vote was 7-0 in favor of. Then finally, we have case number 2024-07-SD-200 for subdivision of property that is currently 100 feet wide by 203 feet deep into two lots that are each 50 feet wide by 203 feet deep for the purpose of building two single-family homes at the property located at 11154 South Lawler Avenue. Public hearing was held on Wednesday, July 10th by the Planning and Zoning Commission with a vote of 5-0 in favor of. And that's all that I have under Planning and Zoning.
So, can I ask you, sir, excuse me, sir, are you here with two seasons?
Yes.
Okay. With the mechanics? Okay. And it was 3-1. Raj, can you give us any background, what was said? And
Unfortunately, I was not at the meeting.
okay.
I was out of town.
Okay. Just look at this real quick. Okay, so you're going to have an auto service repair, 5225 111th Street, with the intent to recondition the entire property and lease it out to two auto service repair facilities. Pursuant to the zoning ordinance, a special use permit needs to be approved by the municipality. What I'm reading is from the attorney, from Adam Dotson. We are therefore respectfully requesting the Village of Alsip review and support a special use permit where it's necessary for the successful operation of two seasoned auto service repair facilities. As you know, there's been issues in the past regarding the storage of inoperable vehicles. Our client removed all the vehicles and has put a couple of measures in place, one being a towing agreement that is attached and it relates to the operation of the business. Also, the parking lot is being reconditioned and striped for demarcation. And our client believes that his history in owning and operating auto service repair facilities gives him the ability to turn this location into a desirable business location where they can take pride in keeping the facilities in top condition. Certainly, if you need any further information, please reach out to Adam Dodson, the attorney. I'm familiar with that. Adam comes in here quite a bit, representing clients. And then, Raj, you saw the whole layout. Did you see this too?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, Roger, as far as you representing the building commission?
The only request that I would have had at the meeting was that they follow through with MWRD, because they will be disturbing more than half of an acre with the asphalt. More than likely, they will have to submit civil drawings with water retention. That would be my only request, other than obviously asphalting the entire parking lot and delineating it.
Okay, so, yeah, it looks like the bank addressed the same thing here, too. Subject to terms and conditions, terms and conditions entitled, terms and conditions, ordinance for establishment of an enterprise zone, subject to enterprise zone. This is from the surveyor. And again, encroachment, like you said, Roger, of the asphalt located mainly on subject land over and onto the property south and back and forth yet too. Adverse, I see, they're just addressing the adverse concrete.
The adverse concrete.
The need to straighten
Need
that
for
land
it.
out. I know what you're talking, it's like where that old car wash used to be.
Right now,
Right?
it's CA6. It's not all asphalt.
You know, looking at this drawing, Raj, this is going to go all the way up to 111th Street yet,
All the
too.
way up to the street.
This looks really nice, the way this is, and they're going to, so you're going to resurface this whole thing now, too, huh? That's going to look nice. You're going to actually park quite a few cars there. Are all these going to be getting serviced at the same time, or? I'm just saying, yeah, if you come up to this microphone, please. So you're going to have like 73 total parking spaces, right? Okay. And what do you do with the 73 spot? Obviously, that's for the entire facility. That's for that whole strip mall of businesses there and stuff yet, too. It's going to look great. I really appreciate it. It's quite a bit of it's a substantial investment, but that's what the building commissioner is saying. Once you put this much asphalt down, there's already sewers there, obviously, from the car wash that was there.
Correct.
But obviously, he's going to be looking for approval from MWRD for storm sewers and stuff then, too. Make sure everything that you're going to do is going to comply and meet the need for sewers at that location. Okay? In other words, there's a lot of civil work involved in something like this. Whenever you put that much asphalt down, where's all the water going, you know? It's kind of hard to pitch just to one sewer. You might need multiple out there and stuff yet, too. But, no, it looks like a great plan, and thank you for making this, that's a sizable investment, too. I know parking lots aren't cheap anymore, that's for sure. We've seen that with all the requirements for through MWRD right now and stuff yet.
This is the second property that Fadi has purchased here in town.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, where's the other one?
The other one,
Go ahead.
4338 West 127th.
Okay.
That's next to the dealership. It used to be like an old...
That was Ray's Towing or
Ray's,
whatever.
Ray's Auto.
I saw you. That looks nice what you're doing over there. You guys...
The same thing over here. on
Okay.
11.
I saw that. It's across the street from the gas and wash. So you're painting all new overhead doors, and I saw you painted it and all that kind of thing.
We did redo the whole thing, masonry and brick, all of it new, from inside to new drywall, new plumbing, everything.
It looks great.
We're
Yeah.
trying to get even the next door, the dealership.
Really? Yeah, I know. Mike next door was talking about retiring. He's going to sell his dealer. Really? You want to buy that?
Yeah, we still like negotiating. We're waiting on a few things from him.
Okay.
You know, but hopefully by the end of the year we get a deal with him.
Just by chance, I was having dinner one night in Palos Heights, and he was sitting next to me. I didn't know him, and we struck up a conversation. There's a guy, he's been in business over 30 years at that location.
Yeah,
He knows,
like over 40 years. Yeah.
oh, yeah, I mean, he knows every single car he ever sold out of that place yet, too. Because I bought one off him. He goes, I remember that thing, you know, that kind of thing. So, no, I wish you well with this, sir. No, it looks great. Trustees, any questions for Bobby? Okay, well, thank you, sir, for coming out. We'll put this on the agenda next week, asking for board approval on this, okay?
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Lana.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and just one final piece in case the board didn't notice it within the package. The motion to approve from the Planning and Zoning Commission did include some stipulations, some of which the mayor's already mentioned, but the full list is, number one, not being open on Sundays, not open past 6 p.m. during the week, the lot being repaved, and there is to be no parking on the side or the rear of the building, and that it be limited to only 2 businesses. That was the full list of stipulations within the
Okay.
motion.
And you've already had all those stipulations, you know that already?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
very good. All right, good luck, thank you.
Thank you.
Board, did anybody have any presentations, petitions, or communications you want to share? Any unfinished business? Any new business? I need to adjourn to a closed session, a short one, to discuss the employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2, Chapter 1. Can I get a motion and a second to do such?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to adjourn to closed session. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McGawhorn?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn to closed session.
Thank you. We're going to adjourn to closed session. The time now is 8:34 p.m. Thank you for joining us tonight, folks. Enjoy the rest of your night.